Welcome back. If you've joined us from the preview, you'll know that we were just floating the idea of Ethan Nwaneri starting this game. We're going to build our 11, but also discuss what we want to see as Arsenal take on Wolves. If you want to know everything we're thinking, the main talking points around the game, like I said, go check out the preview, which is out on AFTV. But I'm here with Laurie and I'm here with Lee, and we're going to build our 11s. I don't think there's any point wasting time with certain positions. We know that David Raya starts this game. Fine. Yeah. And you know what? Maybe just a word on how brilliant he's been this season. Last season, we all had our doubts. We genuinely all did. But this year, I think he's one of the best performing goalkeepers in the league for me. What do you think, Lee?
I think he's up there. I think without that, top three. I think like with Ramsdale going, it just took all that pressure away, and he's excelled on it. And he's been outstanding for us this season. Yeah. Even when he hadn't had a lot to do, he's done well. Even like yesterday, he didn't have a lot to do, but what he done well. You know what I mean? So his concentration levels and everything like that are top notch. I think his kicking's been
really good,
really good. And I just think that all round he's up there now, and he's proved me wrong. And you know, glad he has. He's been superb this season.
Outstanding goalkeeper. Right, let's start building the back four because. What do we know? Kivior's a left footer, and Arteta has a problem with that. William Saliba's not available. Ben White didn't make the bench. You could have Timber centre back, but that means you're doing something at right back we don't like. We're trying to put ourselves in the minds of Mikel. So what do you think his back four is going to be? Worth remembering that Lewis Skelly has jarred his knee. Probably won't be available for this. Jarring of a knee is not that. It's not good.
No.
Like that's a.
Mind you, he is only 18. You know, when you're very young, you tend to do. The body does recover quite quickly from injuries. But the middle of the defence there, that's an interesting one, because do you think Kivior did enough yesterday to solidify his place?
I think the dynamic is better with Kivior there and Timber right back.
For me, I'm with you on that. The balance was a lot better. If I'll be honest, though, I don't think that he'll do that. I think he'll bring Party back into right back. I think because I look at it and go, why did he do that in the last 20 minutes of that game? We did go back to that. We took Timber off. There could be reasons for that, but
I actually think I saw Arsenal fans getting onto him online for that. I think that was purely to manage Timber's minutes.
Yeah.
Because there's literally nothing else he could do. No. I think he'd play Rice right back, but he's made it very clear he doesn't want to do that.
I agree with that. I think I'd like to go with the back four that he went with. And I just think that centrally, like Kivior, wins a lot more balls in the air than Timber, and Timber does an excellent job at right back. I think he's decent at central defence, but yesterday I think he showed what a good right back he is in attacking points of views as well. And I just think like recovery runs, you know, as I said, I don't think you should underestimate Wolves. So I think that I would go with the same back four.
I have to say, I mean, I've said this before, I think on Forever Arsenal, but a huge shout out goes to Duran Timber for the minutes he's played,
unbelievable
he's given, because, you know, again, I'm no physio, but all you're ever told is, look, got to manage him, back from ACL, not easy, and sometimes you lose a lot. I've seen players have ACL injuries and they don't come back the same, where they can't turn the same, where they lose a yard of pace, whatever it might be. He doesn't look like he's lost anything, but on top of that, he's able to keep getting himself out there time and time and time again. Even when he came off against, I think, Man United, we thought it was a hamstring issue, he starts the North London derby. Or was it the North London derby and then he starts the Villa game? I can't remember, but just relentless amount of minutes played, and his availability has been top. So if we're building the back four then, Timber, Kivior, Gabriel, Zinchenko, is that our predicted back four? Could you go for Kieran Tierney?
I think he'll opt for Zinchenko, because Zinchenko offers a little bit more going forward, and against Wolves I would imagine we'll have a lot of the ball. So it kind of makes sense for Zinchenko to play, to be honest.
I think it'll be Zinchenko,
Yeah, I agree with that. Could bring in Calafiori.
Well, that's the thing. Calafiori's on the bench, but he didn't come on against Wolves. Against Zagreb. He had so many injury problems. I would just stick with Zinni. Unless Calafiori plays centre-back. But he's another left footer out there. At that point, I'd just stick with Kivior. Calafiori hasn't played any football.
I think with Kivior, right, to be fair to him, he is a decent player. But I think the thing with him is, we saw it yesterday against Zagreb. He does have a mistake in him, and you know,
and in the Premier League you get punished.
yes.
I felt a bit sorry for Kivior because I think he's largely in his time at Arsenal done fine. You know, I don't think he's been amazing, but I keep having to remind myself that 20 million isn't that much in the transfer market.
He's
It used to be
a squad player.
Yeah, you signed a £20 million player in 2009. You know, they're expected to be huge for you. But today, 20 million, that's just an average squad player. That's just come in and do a job. And I think he's done that. You know, as a 5th, 6th, 7th choice defender at times, he's done a job. But the problem is that it's the margins, isn't it? The Raul Jimenez goal, that his position is not great for. We're 1-0 down at Fulham. You know, you got a 2-1 lead against Liverpool. He comes on when Tomiyasu, Saliba, Gabriel, all of them aren't available to play. You punish, it's 2-2. That's 2 points drop. That's a 3-point swing on Liverpool. You know, a point less they should have and 2 more we should have. And, you know, because of these moments, I think he's kind of tarnished with, basically that's Kivior. He's not at the level. But I actually think his passing range is good. Versatility across the back. He was starting left back for us last season in our best run of the campaign. Yeah. But he's just not quite at the level of some of the others. And so I feel sorry for him, but I would stick with him. I would back him and play him centre back. He's going to have a handful against Strand Larsen, but I'd get Gabriel on Strand Larsen a little bit more. Yeah. And Kivior in the back, battle with Cunha maybe.
It's interesting that, you know, that Gabriel is the more leader, the more established, and he still plays on the left side. You'd think that you'd think like, oh well, I'll take that mantle, but they put him over there. So,
do you think that's a case of not weakening two positions?
Yeah, I think it is. I think like, you know,
if that area's going to be weaker, let's at least make sure we've got what we want there.
Yeah, I think there is. So you've got to do it there, and I think that for me, I just think that by just putting the one position and Kivior coming in there, I just think it just keeps everything else tight and neat and tidy at the back, and I think that away from home you need that.
Yeah, okay, fine. And we all think Zinchenko, so there we go. Right, let's build the midfield. No one takes my opinion seriously because I'm half Italian, so they all think I'm just overdoing it. I thought Jorginho again was great against Zagreb.
No, don't go then.
Am I the only one?
No, I thought he played very, very well.
No, what? Sorry, what are you saying now? No, I don't want to misquote you. So what are you saying?
I thought he was great against Zagreb.
Played very well.
I'd start Partey in this game.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were going to say.
No.
That, yeah.
But I thought it was worth the conversation because people often talk about Partey starting over Jorginho because of Partey's legs and his ability to cover ground. But I actually think the way Partey's been recently, I know on the press Partey's really good, but in terms of covering large spaces, I just think Jorginho's been reading the game better than Partey, personally. I think sometimes I look at those moments against Zagreb where I think he did sort of like snuff out the danger, and then keep things moving. The one thing he's got, Jorginho, is that lofted ball over the top. He keeps finding Kai Havertz or our right winger, you know, especially against a low block. However, for all the positives I've given Jorginho there, I think the midfield ticks better when it's Partey at the base. I think from back to front, maybe in the final third, Jorginho's got a little bit more creativity. I think from back to front, Partey gives us more across all phases.
Yeah, it's the mobility is better.
And our press is better with Partey, and you saw that with the goal against Spurs. So I just wanted to give Jorginho his credit because I feel like he comes in, does really well, and because he's 33, we signed him from Chelsea for 12 million. It's just like, whatever, he did okay. No, whenever he's coming, he's genuinely playing at a really good level. But Partey, Rice and Odegaard, I think, is Arteta's favoured midfield. And it's probably mine as well.
And it is mine as well. But I will say this, if Thomas Partey plays at right back, which could happen, right?
Would you rather Jorginho?
I'd rather have Jorginho now.
Yeah, I don't want to see Partey at right back. I want to see him in midfield, in that 6. And I think, that's
a difficult one. If Partey's right back, is it Jorginho? Or do you put Rice, 6 and Marino? And to prove there's no Italian tax, I think I lean towards Marino with Rice.
So see, I'm at the stage where I think Jorginho helps Rice. Rice was superb yesterday, box to box.
He was.
And he's added a couple of goals to his game. If he can just add that to his game, I think he's just a better player in there. And I think that these games when it's tight, it may be something from midfield that gets you the win. So for me, if Thomas Partey's playing at right back, I want to see Jorginho in there. But because I like, listen, wherever you play Rice, he does well. But I think that Rice you know, when you say if you're moving Gabriel to the right, you're not getting the bet. I think if you're putting Marino in there and taking Rice out, we're missing something. So for me, keep Rice where he is.
Okay.
Yep.
I think Arteta needs to settle on his position now, and I've said this for a long time. I know that versatility is a massive strength, but I just think give him one position. Are you a box-to-box midfielder or are you a 6? And if you add Zubimendi in the summer, I think that clears it all up, because then there's no question who starts. But I think at the moment there's this debate, well, Partey or Marino, and whoever you pick, then that means Rice is that. And I get it, but I just think long term, I think Rice will benefit from just being one or the other. I love some of the lung-busting runs he made against Zagreb. There was one ball Odegaard played through the lines in the first half, put him in behind, and it was blocked by the defender, but I love the way he was just steaming up the pitch. Yeah. And then the amount of second balls where balls bounce because we won the header, lost the header, and he's just there to sweep up, great first touch, and he's just driving at the heart of their defence. And I think I love that for Declan Rice, but it's got to come with the right sitting midfielder. When I saw some of the passes Jorginho was playing, I thought, okay, if Zubimendi gives us this, then I get the Rice at 8 thing. But anyway, it's all dynamics and tweaks, whatever. But we agree then. Odegaard,
yeah,
Partey,
absolutely. I mean,
Rice.
we've seen 22 Premier League games this season. Every time we've seen Partey, Rice and Odegaard in that midfield, you would say that is the best midfield, right?
Yeah.
I do think, though, I'm going to say one thing about Rice, and I know he was disappointed. I think his heading, though, when he is making that run to the back post, I think that's something he's going to need to work on. All I can think of, Zagreb didn't really matter, but he missed a big chance there.
Yeah,
poor header.
Who's the other one he missed?
Man United, remember, at home?
Yeah.
And I want to take you all the way back to November, Newcastle in the 94th minute, St James's Park.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Whip to the back post. You think you can't surely miss, and he put it wide. If you're going to make that run to the back post, and clearly he's timing his runs well, the players are finding him, and he's getting his head on it, but start burying those, because those are going to be big chances. It's a big tool we've got to find that far post.
That being said, though, the goal that he scored after 2 minutes, that was almost like a striker's finish.
That's a brilliant finish.
The way he put his head over the ball, the technique, kept it down. I can think of many strikers, let alone centre halves, that would have blasted that into Rosette. So, and he's capable of that, and he shoots from outside the box. So he says, gets up and down.
I love Declan Rice. I was just pointing out one thing that our £100 million midfielder could maybe work on, but otherwise he's been. A lot of people. He's getting better and better.
The captain without the armband at the moment. I've heard that thrown around a few times.
Yeah, I see that.
Not that I'm advocating that he be given the armband, but it's great to have leaders in the team.
Yeah,
it's very rare, £100 million, or say 80 million plus is spent on a player, and no one questions the price tag, and that's been the case with Declan since day one. So,
can I just make a little shout out though for Thomas Partey, because I don't think sometimes he gets the credit he deserves. Yes, he has made mistakes, the game last week, but that was at right back. When he's played in midfield,
he's been brilliant.
You'll struggle to find a game when he's not impacted it positively.
It can't help him being moved right back, 6, right back. Have you seen that table that shows you all the changes in each position? And I think Jorginho, Rice and Partey have all been alternated in that number 6, like time and time and time and time again. And that can't help. But let's get to the forward line then.
Sterling must start. No, that's a joke.
Okay, look, here's mine. I'm just going to come out and say it. Nwaneri on the right, Martinelli on the left, Trossard. And I know Havertz has a goal and assist, but it's not enough for me. I think Trossard has done more.
Yeah, but where though? Where has he done
false
more
nine
from?
From the left, but when he's played false 9 for Arsenal, he's been very good. I think our fluidity is better when it's Trossard there. I think we're going to have to play through walls, which could be difficult. I think we're going to need moments of quality. And I'm not prepared to leave Nwaneri out, and I'm not prepared to drop Martinelli. And Trossard, I thought, was brilliant against Tottenham and Villa and deserves to keep his place in another Premier League game. So I'm taking Havertz out the 11.
This is a great debate because we were talking about earlier on. Havertz has scored in his last 2 games.
He's got 14 goals this season, which is not a bad return.
He scored and assisted on this game there. We're praising Isak 2 weeks ago when he scores against us and creates against us. Other than that, he done nothing.
I know.
And we're all going, that's what we want.
I know.
It's very, very difficult. For me, Havertz is in form as far as goal scoring is concerned. But is he doing enough other than that? Well, you have to if you've scored and assisted. You know, I think that the pressure comes on Havertz at this moment in time. If you don't score, then you know you're looking at it and going, oh wow. But I think 2 goals his last 2 games, it's harsh to leave him out.
If Nwaneri weren't fit, I'd agree. But Nwaneri is fit. Martinelli's discovered form, and I thought was brilliant against Zagreb, and has been building up to that. Trossard, I thought, was great against Tottenham and Villa. Probably our man of the match, if not one of them. I just can't leave them out, and I think they overall do more on the ball, get us in the game, get us playing more than Kai does. But I agree it's harsh because he's got 2 goals and an assist in his last 3 games. So 2 games.
It's a tough one.
I must say I'm with Lee on this one. I think that we've waited for a few weeks for Havertz to come to fruition. He had a couple of games where he was pretty poor, let's be honest. But to be fair to him, that was off the back of him being ill over the Christmas period. So we do have to cut him a bit of slack from that. Listen, if you're a striker and you're scoring, it's very difficult for the manager to leave you out because by definition you are doing your job. With the Trossard and Nwaneri thing, I think that's an interesting argument, but I would opt for Trossard. Again, we waited for a while for him to start cooking. Now he's cooking, then you leave him out. I'm not so sure about that. Nwaneri's just come back. I'll go with Trossard. And then you can use Nwaneri as the impact sub. As long as you don't leave it too late, last 10 minutes and stuff like that, use him properly, then I would go with that. And I would go Martinelli, who quietly is rediscovering some form. I think he's got like 6-7 goals now in the Premier League. So it could be argued that incrementally he's getting better. So yeah, that would be my front 3. Martinelli, Havertz, Trossard.
Okay, so let's predict. What do you think? Back to you, Laurie. What do you think Arteta will go for?
I think he'll go for the 3 that I've just said. I think he will.
Say it one more time. Sorry,
you know what he's like. He's got a soft spot for Havertz, which is kind of understandable in a way. That was his big money signing. It would appear that he backs him relentlessly. I expect him to do so. Like Lee said, you're a striker. Even if you're not playing that well and you're scoring, by definition, you are doing your job, really, aren't you? So he scored in the last 2 games. There are signs of improvement. Wolves, you know, physically it will be a test. The guy's 6'4". He can put himself about when he wants to. He's got a bit of speed as well. Yeah, I expect to. And let's be honest as well, Trossard, when he's played through the middle, he hasn't always impacted the game the way we would like.
So you think it'll be Martinelli, Havertz, Trossard?
Yes.
I think so too. I think he'll go, well, we're nearly 17, just back from injury. He'll chuck Martinelli on the right.
Yeah, I think that he will, but I don't think that's the right decision. I think that, I'll be honest, Nwaneri is the nearest profile player that we have to sack.
I totally agree.
No, but that doesn't necessitate that he won't play, if you know what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is,
you're
start
saying
with those 3, because I think they deserve it, first and foremost. Like I said, Nwaneri's just come back anyway. He's had a few minutes the other day. He's just coming back. So, listen.
It's an easy option.
We need a forward. Sterling didn't even come up in this conversation. We haven't even mentioned his name.
Well,
all right, well, let's go through our predict 11 then. Raya in goal. Timber, Kivior, Gabriel and Zinchenko as the back 4 we're expecting. We'll go with what you had. Odegaard with Partey restored to midfield and Rice in there's the box-to-box with Martinelli, Havertz and Trossard. All right, There we go. Let us know your predicted or your favourite 11. Specify in the comments which one it's going to be. A big thank you to Laurie. Go check him out on LL Sports TV.
LL Sports TV.
There we go.
Or
go
LL
subscribe.
Sports.
Yeah, there you go. LL Sports on YouTube and, of course, Lee Judges TV as well. I'm not going to make a Dan Potts joke, but I do love you to bits. No, go check it out. You've been running a lot of live streams recently. It's been good. I've been tuning in.
Been doing all right.
No, I've been tuning in. It's been good. Everyone, go subscribe. Check out all that content. We will be here reacting to every kick of a ball. I'll be on the watch along. Wolves versus Arsenal this Saturday. And as always, it's a must win. The season's going to feel like that. Catch you all in a bit.